Hi, welcome to this session on Microsoft Flow. Let me share with you the cool Microsoft Flow capability using the Flow portal shown on the right here. Users can leverage automation through self-authoring, orchestrating meta services easily without systems or IT knowledge to get more done using these connectors published by Microsoft in the MS Flow portal. They can also do it in two easy steps: create and consume. They can create such flows from scratch or build upon connectors produced and published by Microsoft and partners. Typically, a flow starts based upon the chosen trigger or set schedule and performs one or more actions based upon the conditional logic that is built into them by the user. Once the flow is completed, saved, and enabled, it just runs. Here is an example of the concept. User pulls the RSS feed trigger to kick off his flow, say whenever his professor posts the notes. This sends a notification to him on his device and sends an email with the details. Each of these services will have input and output called tokens, which will be populated by point and click, and no coding and no typing will be required. Let's look at another example, a little more involved this time. A native English educator is interacting with non-English speaking students. He chooses the email service as a trigger. The arriving email text is passed to the MS translator. Translator service detects the language. A condition block checks if the detected language is not English. If the check passes, it passes the text back to the MS translator service to translate into English and pass the translated text to the email service to send it to the educator. The flow is then complete. Take note of the email service setup details. The token, namely the language code, the body, the translated text are all picked from the dynamic content pickup box. Users does not have to remember, type, or make any coding efforts in order to achieve this flow. Let us now take a look at the demo of a third scenario.
An academic administrator requires a service to inform students about the change in academic schedules and venues on their phone using SMS. This could be also very useful and handy in quickly reaching the end users in case of emergencies. So he accesses the MS Flow app shown on the right on his Android phone, enters the app and uses a features call button to kickstart the campus inform flow and tell the students that their class is cancelled. This starts the flow, and the flow cycles through the students' contacts, sending them the message which is shown on the left as an example on one of the students' Windows mobile phone.
The administrator can, as a citizen developer, build this flow on his Android phone using the Flow app or using the Flow portal in the web browser. Let's explore his Android phone. Now here are the flows and where he built the campus inform flow. Let's explore and see how the campus inform flow was built. We go into edit flow. The app brings up the details, the flow structure to show the various stages or components that made this flow possible. So the administrator started with the manual triggering of the flow, which simply takes the input that has to be sent out, basically the message that has to be sent out to the students. The flow then refers to the getFlow function, which uses the list of contact mobile numbers of the students kept in OneDrive for Business. In that Excel file, which could be any other spreadsheet as well, the flow looks for the phones table, and within the phones table, it picks each row, each value, and applies the function or the action to the each row, which stands for each student. The
send text message service. So this action needs a phone number, and phone number can be obtained once the user, our administrator, signs up for this service. And the phone numbers, which are individual lines in the phone table in the Excel spreadsheet on the stored on the OneDrive for Business. And the text is the input which the administrator has typed when he kicked off the campus inform flow. Now, with this, the flow is complete, and by simply pulling together these three stages and passing the variables by point and click between the stages, this particular action can be accomplished very easily. If you own a service app, you could participate in the MS Flow initiative by building a wrapper around your service's custom API. This is called a Swagger file. Submitting this initiates the process at the end of which your app service can be promoted as a connector for Flow and Power App services and showcased in the Connector Services gallery in the Flow portal. Following that, users can build Flow apps using your service to address their day-to-day needs. These users must already be your customers to enable this to happen. This has the potential to drive further adoption and usage for your app service. Here is the website that explains the program, and from that website you can access this nomination form to kickstart the process. Thank you and good luck.